Well, there was a new Indiana law that officially went into effect today, July 1st, 2024, and it affects both buyers and sellers and tenants of residential and commercial real estate in the state of Indiana. This change largely impacts the buyers and the tenants and their buyer brokers, because there's a requirement now to have a signed buyer's exclusive agency contract. But in mid-August, we're going to see some additional changes based on a settlement from a lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors. So what's the big deal? Well, one of the terms of this agreement is that NAR is agreeing to prohibit the offer of compensation on the MLS. The MLS is the multiple listing service. It's the tool that most realtors use to search available properties. So offers of compensation can still be pursued off of the MLS in a multiple variety of ways. So compensation paid directly by the consumer, or a concession by the seller, or a portion of the listing broker's commission. We just can no longer use the multiple listing service, the MLS, to communicate the offers of compensation. So, are buyers still going to ask sellers to pay the compensation for their buyer broker? I think likely yes. The buyer broker can negotiate the seller's payment of the buyer's closing costs, just like they always have, but that now might also include the buyer's exclusive agency fee. So it's important to note that the buyer has got to request this payment as a part of their contractual obligation between them and the seller. Can sellers still offer buyer brokers bonuses to bring buyers off the MLS? Yes, they can. But if a buyer and their buyer broker have a contract, they have to adhere to what their contract says. So if there is a bonus in addition to what their contract says, that contract will have to be amended to include the bonus. All right, so here's the deal. Every buyer who comes through the door of a listing will have a contract that establishes their relationship with their buyer agent and how much that buyer agent is going to be compensated. The buyer is now going to choose one agent to work with in the same way that a seller selects one agent to market their home on their behalf. So it also says in this contract that a buyer's agent is going to ask the seller to contribute to that compensation. They're going to do their best to get that money from the seller, but the seller is not obligated to pay it. They never have been. So there you have it. Nothing earth-shattering, but definitely new and different and change, and different from the way we've practiced real estate for decades here in Indiana. So what questions do you have? How is this confusing to you? Is it confusing to you? Let us know. We'd love to help. I'm Stacy Groh with the Russell Company.